Today's episode of Monkey Ball on the Monkey Sports Podcast is brought to you by BaseballMonkey. Next time you need anything from BaseballMonkey.com, be sure to enter promo code PODCAST10. That's PODCAST, the number 10, 10% off your entire order on BaseballMonkey.com. Some exclusions may apply. That's promo code PODCAST10, PODCAST, the number 10, for 10% off your entire order. All right, let's get rolling.
There are rich teams and there are poor teams. Then there's 50 feet of crap. And then there's us.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Monkey Ball, brought to you by the Monkey Sports Podcast. Got a little bit different episode for you guys today. Obviously, with everything going on across the country and across the world, we're not naive to the fact that times are changing, and we're in a very unprecedented time in everyone's life. But from a content standpoint and from what we want to do at Monkey Sports, obviously, the health and safety of our customer and of you guys is at the top priority. But from a content standpoint, we want to continue to keep you guys entertained. We're still going to be operating at our full capacity online. We're still going to try to be bringing you all the sports equipment that you love for, of course, the hope to get back to normalcy as soon as possible. But that's exactly what we're going to try to do. We want to continue to bring you guys the Monkey Sports Podcast as much as we're able. We're fortunate enough to have a good log of interviews saved from before when all this stuff happened, including the one today. We have True Diamond Science's Enrique Celedon. Great interview with him. We talk about how True enters the baseball market, what they're looking to do with their new bats, their bat fitting, a ton of stuff. It's an incredibly interesting conversation with what was called the 100-year-old startup from Enrique. So it's a phenomenal interview, a great conversation to listen to. And again, we want to continue to bring that for you guys. We know that now more than ever is an important opportunity to continue to have content and continue to think about the things we know and love. And of course, baseball and hockey and lacrosse and everything that we bring you guys on a daily basis is something that we want to continue to look forward to. And while we're currently in a very unprecedented time, we hope that we're able to at least bring you a little bit of joy and a good 30 minutes out of your day to continue to think about the stuff you love and to continue to bring you the content that you know and that you continue to follow. So with that being said, we'll get right into the interview with Enrique. Want to personally thank you guys for continuing to tune into the Monkey Sports Podcast. Again, we'll try to bring you as much content as possible through all of our social channels at Monkey Sports for the time being. But again, thank you for your support, and let's get right into it with True Diamond Science's Enrique Celedon. All right, welcome back to the Monkey Ball Podcast. We're in here with Enrique Celedon from True Diamond Science. Enrique, how you doing? Thanks for joining us.
Good. Thanks for having me, guys. Always awesome to be with Monkey.
Yeah, absolutely. So before we jump into to True Diamond Science and everything, the moves y'all are making in baseball, tell us a little bit about yourself, your background in the sport, and what's led you to this point today.
No, for sure. So I was actually born in South America in Colombia, and I moved to the States in around 2000. From there, I pursued baseball, but really my big sport growing up was soccer. A lot of people make fun of me as a soccer player now in the diamond space. But I played, I was a pitcher. I was a PO, actually. I didn't really like hitting that much. And then I graduated from college, and I started actually my first job at Sports Authority. Rest in peace, Sports Authority. And I started as a trainee there, and I actually got placed in baseball, and that was 10 years ago now. So I've been in baseball ever since. From there, I jumped to Evo Shield, where I did sales for Evo Shield there when it was before Wilson owned them. So OG Evo Shield, starting the company, kind of very aggressive growth company. From there, I will move to Nike Accessories, and then from there, I ended up at Easton Baseball. At Easton Baseball, my True called one day. I never actually heard of True Temper. I heard they make golf shafts, and they said they wanted to start this crazy new baseball company. I saw the vision, and then from there, I jumped ship, and I've been the head of sales there now for over a year.
So what in True did you see that made you, obviously jumping from Easton, one of the major baseball vendors, what in True did you see that made you want to make that drastic jump?
So the funny thing is, when my boss called me, he was like, "Hey, Enrique, I'm starting this baseball company." I actually laughed. I said, "Hey, the last thing we need is another baseball company. It's hard enough to sell Easton, Wilson, all the big brands are pretty established. As you guys know, baseball players love their brands. But what True did, and the nice thing of True is True Temper golf shafts. In golf, getting fit is standard. 10 years ago, people were still buying drivers and wedges off the shelf. Now, if you're a real golf player, you actually get fitted. So the vision was, how do we bring that golf fit experience to baseball? But at the end of the day, it's really about giving people transparency in their buying experience. Right now, you buy a bat off the rack, and it may or may not weigh what it says it weighs. It may be end loaded, may be balanced. You don't know because bat manufacturers don't tell you that. At True, what we do is we bring the whole transparency of, we'll give you your exit velocity, launch angle, smash, all the data you've always heard about. We now put it all into our fit process. So when you walk away from a True fitting, you may or may not walk away with a True bat, but at least you'll know you're walking away with the best bat for you.
What is True wanting to accomplish within the game of baseball? And how are you going to accomplish the goals set in place?
So our overall mission, when you boil it all down, is to keep people playing baseball. What we've noticed, a lot of players, we've kind of put it around 75% of players will quit the game after the age of 13 just because, they can't get to the ball. The game actually gets harder. There's not as much fun. For baseball players, what's fun is hitting the ball. But what we end up finding out is if you swing the wrong bat, it makes it harder to get to the ball. It might be too heavy, it might be too light. So by giving players the right bat from the beginning at the youth level, we're just increasing their levels of having success in the game, which we think will lead to more players playing the game long term. So for us, the goal is actually to increase participation and just increase the fun levels in baseball overall.
So you made a point about baseball players, loving their brands and really sticking to one. They use a Easton bat, they're stuck in Easton for their whole life. How tough is it for True outside of the bat fittings? Like obviously that's a great way for a player to get into the True brand, but how tough is it to kind of grow at a more worldwide scale with the players that are so rooted in? Like how tough is it to get a True bat into somebody's hand?
So it becomes very difficult. It starts very difficult, and then at the end of the process, it usually turns out to be pretty easy. Because at the end of the day, what we're doing is we're showing you the data. We're letting the data do the talking. And at the end of the day, product is king. I think we all hear that all the time in our industry. If I can show you a bat that will help you hit the ball further and swing it faster, that's when people start saying, hey, maybe the brand name or the color doesn't matter as much. At the end of the day, it's about getting a bat that makes you better. Bats are so regulated. We all know this, right? USSSA 1.15 BPF. By law, a bat cannot be hotter than 1.5 BPF, no matter the brand. I can't sit here and tell you I'm hotter than X, Y, and Z bat because we're all regulated. The only way to give a player a true performance advantage, take away marketing, take away fairy dust, is by fit and feel, and that's what we're bringing to the table.
So could you kind of dive into the whole bat fitter system? Like what all will a player go through when they're getting fitted for a bat?
No, for sure. So one cool thing about MonkeySports is actually 4 of the stores at Monkey that have batting cages are now official True Fit centers as of today. So they'll literally do fits Monday through Sunday. You just have to sign up for a spot ahead of time. There's actually 2 ways to get fitted. If you can't make it to an in-person fit, we actually have an online fit version of the algorithm. You can go to our website, actually MonkeySports on their homepage right now. You can actually get fitted through MonkeySports through their version of the algorithm. We actually put our algorithm on their website. But what you do, obviously online, you're not going to get as much hardcore data as you could on the field. But online, you basically start with your height and weight. And then we take some CDC recommendations on BMI so we can make some assumptions on the players. If he's really tall and skinny, we can see, or if he's really short and chubby, we can make those assumptions from there. Then we also ask questions about what kind of hitter they are, if they're looking for power, for speed, a lot of subjective information. But at the end of that fit, there's still some science behind it, and it will recommend a bat at the end of the online fit. It takes maybe 2 minutes to get fit online. And all of our bats are actually covered with our 60-day fit guarantee. So if you buy a bat, whether it's a Monkey or through anywhere else that is an authorized dealer, you actually buy a bat, you have 60 days to love that bat. So that's another thing when you're asking me about how do we get people to switch away. Hey, try us. And if you walk away, if you hit a Grossberg, if something happens in those 60 days, you literally just call us up and go, hey, could I please switch this bat up for a ½ inch up or 1 inch up, and we'll swap it out for free, and shipping's free both ways. Same thing on the in-person algorithm. Now that one is a 30-minute one-on-one consultative fit with a True Fit or a Monkey specialist that are all True certified. So the way that works is you walk up. First thing we do is we get your physical attributes. So we get your height, your weight, and that's where most people stop. If you've all seen the height weight chart in the stores, there is a little bit of that in our algorithm, but that's where most people stop. That's actually where True starts. So from there, now we'll start measuring your wingspan, see how long your arms are. What that goes in is if you have really long arms, you might be able to get away with a shorter bat. If you have really short arms, you might be able to get away with a longer bat. So all these things the algorithm starts chumping on. We actually see where you stand to home plate. If you stand really close, again, you might be able to get away with a shorter bat. You don't need to be swinging out there. If you stand kind of far away from home plate, you might need a longer bat just to cover the zone. So these are all the data points the algorithm kind of chews on. Then we do a strength assessment, both your grip strength and your core strength. And then we measure your hand to see what grip size you do, because all our bats actually have 2 different grip options. We fit you down to the grip. From there, we'll actually spec your bat, as I like to call it. we'll take your current gamer and we'll actually weigh it in front of you. So we'll take whatever bat you swing today, we'll measure it, and then we'll weigh it, and then we'll compare it to what it actually says it is. We've seen some competitors be as bad as 3 ounces off of what they say. So a drop 10 that claims to be a drop 10, when you actually weigh it, ends up being a drop 7. So now the algorithm knows what it's up against. So it knows that maybe I need to recommend a drop 8, even though it's a drop 10, because you're already swinging a drop 7 and you didn't even know it. So that's one of the cool things. And from there, you can actually tell the algorithm, hey, what do you want to work on today? The algorithm isn't just going to spit out a bat that hits it further. Maybe you crushed the ball and want better bat speed. The algorithm can actually find a bat that improves specifically bat speed over that. There's actually 8 variables that we can improve or work on with the algorithm recommendation. Then comes the fun part. The kid gets a hit. They'll hit their gamer first, and we try to make sure they warm up so it's a fair comparison. So you're not hitting your gamer cold. So you'll hit, you'll warm up, you'll hit, we'll get all your data for your gamer. Then the algorithm will actually recommend a bat down to the skew. The true fitter will grab that specific bat. All of our fitters actually have 100 skews with them. Every skew that we can recommend, you'll be able to hit while you're at a fit. They'll go grab that recommended bat. You'll hit it, and then we compare. And what you compare is exit velocity, swing speed, smash factor, carry, and launch angle. And at the end, we literally show you a screen that shows you your bat versus our bat, and then you choose. Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. Spoiler alert, we win about 80% of the time, so that's been pretty cool to see. And if we lose, we'll tell. All of our true staff are trained, hey, the bat you have is the right bat. Hold on to that bat and buy that bat again. But come back next year, you might not be so lucky. So it's all about transparency. And the coolest thing is as soon as the fit ends, you get a free email recap of the entire session sent to you via email. So you have all your data always with you at all times after the fit.
What was that R&D process like? Because, I mean, obviously that's so extensive and something that you don't see anywhere else. I imagine that has to have been months, if not years, of prepping some of this fitter stuff.
So it's about 24 months of R&D, and a lot of people have been emailing us like, when's fast pitch coming? When's fast pitch coming? And the bats aren't the hard part. It's building the data set behind it. So the cool thing about the algorithm, like most algorithms, it's a living, breathing organism. So literally every time somebody hits, the algorithm gets smarter. So we obviously need to start with a pretty strong set of kind of starter data. And we went through about 1,000 kids. And when we say data points, what we had to do is we had to find kids of every age group, every height, weight combination, skill set. And we would literally give them, all right, hit with this bat first, and then we would see what it would do to the metrics with that bat. Then we would switch the grip, then we'd see what happened there. And we'd have to go to every iteration of bat possibilities with that player so we could see what more MOI, less MOI would do to a bat. And then once you have that, then you can put it into the algorithm. We build it. It's a proprietary patent-pending algorithm, so the whole process is patented. And we don't think anyone, even in golf you go in and you just compare different models. What makes ours different is ours actually recommends the perfect bat, and that's where you start.
Yeah, so you kind of touched on the fast pitch bats. You get questions about that. I always get questions whenever I post about your guys' stuff on social media about BB Core bats. Do you have any idea when those will be released?
Yeah, so I guess you'll hear it here first. BB Core bats are the next line of bats we are currently in the process of developing. You guys will all hold me to it, but I think fall of this year, fall 2020, will be when you'll be able to find them nationwide and obviously at MonkeySports.
There we go, podcast exclusive.
Yeah, awesome. So I've seen on your social media and your website and everything that you guys work with Mark McGwire, Edgar, Renteria, and Eric Burns. They're part of your True Diamond Science advisory panel. What has that been like to work with them, and what is their role within True?
So it's really cool that you bring those guys up. So obviously our advisory panel is comprised of almost 10 members. Those are obviously the big names on the list. What we always say at True is our business at True Diamond Science is to put the right bat in people's hands. We're not in the lesson business. We're not in the, and people always put online like, a bat can't fix hard work and all that. We totally agree. Like hard work and practice, no bat's going to help you if you don't do all those things. But what we're in the business of is putting the right arrow in your quiver. So depending on what your swing is, we'll help you get the right bat. Where the advisory panel comes in is when we talk about asking questions in the R&D process of hitting and lessons and what's the right way to do things. That's where those guys come in. I mean, we have 2 guys that have won World Series, Edgar Renteria, World Series MVP. Fun fact, him and I are from the same hometown, which is how we know each other.
Nice.
But it's really, those guys are the ones we lean on for R&D and being true to the game and making sure we're making good product and making the right decisions. They're sort of our sounding board. For BB Core, we just sent them a blank spec sheet and go, hey, if you guys had to design a BB Core bat, how would you do it? And then we take all their feedback and do it. So at the end of the day, they're our validation engine. And obviously having a name like Mark McGwire will validate what we're doing. Edgar and Eric Burns all validate that, we're not just guys making bats in our garages. We're backed by a real company. We're backed by real players that play the game the right way. And we couldn't be more excited to keep growing that list and having them on the team.
Is there a move to, obviously with already these big name ex-MLB guys, is there going to be a move to get the true bats into college baseball or into bigger venues?
Yeah, so obviously as we enter BB Core, that then now opens the door for high school and college. Wood is the MLB pinnacle, right? There is conversations internally to eventually get there. I think, obviously to grow in baseball, you always want to make sure your stuff's seen at the premier level, at the pinnacle level. So right now, we really don't have a product that can make it there, but we're definitely looking towards that. I think it's going to be real exciting when BB Core comes out, kind of giving those bats to the best players in college and high school. And then hopefully we'll see, no spoiler there, no exclusive there on that one, but stay tuned for Wood.
Yeah, we'll get you back on once the Wood bat comes on, and we'll have that conversation.
What do you believe makes true bats different or better than the rest of the bats in the market?
Yeah, so I always tell people this. There's no such thing as a hot bat. And I'm sure people are going to blow me up after hearing that. But at the end of the day, you can pick up a bat at Walmart for $20, and if it's the right fit for a player, that bat might be better than a $350 two-piece composite. We are strong believers that getting fit with the right bat is the biggest difference. And sometimes a true bat isn't the best bat for that kid, and that's the beauty of the system. It's all about transparency. One thing that does make our bats pretty unique is we come in half sizes. So we're the only youth baseball brand right now that offers half sizes. So we start at 27 inches and go all the way up to 33, and we go up every half inch. So 27, 27 and a half, 28, 28 and a half, etc. No one else does those half inches, and you'd be amazed how many people walk into a store and go, I don't know if I should get a 30 or a 31. Well, True has 30 and a half, so that's a nice thing. We had a big conversation about composite barrels, and there's nothing wrong with composite barrels, but we wanted a bat that if you had to go play in the World Series today, you could walk out with it. So that defaulted to aluminum barrels. Aluminum barrels are hot out of the wrapper, but we did still want the feel of that composite handle, which is why we went with hybrids. Obviously, that also allows us to be at a lower price point, so people are getting into True. They don't have to go all the way up to the $350 price point. Our price point is $280, and that includes the fit right now, which is pretty cool to have a $280 bat including the fit. So our materials, aluminum composite, we have the best of both worlds. Bats hot out of the wrapper, you can go play with it today. Half sizes, and although no bat manufacturer can make their bats weigh exactly what they're supposed to weigh, all of our bats are probably the tightest tolerances in the game. So you would never see a True bat unless it's a production error that is 3 ounces over what it's stated it is. We're proud to say that. We obviously can't say we'll be always on spec, but we have a pretty tight tolerance when it comes to that. Where our competitors, that's the cool thing about the fit, is we'll actually weigh your bat in front of you, and you'll see what your I don't want to call anybody out, but brand X is 2 ounces over. So the cool thing is we've actually fit a lot of drop 10 kids into drop 8s, because most of their drop 10s are already drop 8s. They just didn't know it. So we've actually seen a lot of drop 8 True sales for kids that normally swing a drop 10 in different brands. So again, at the end of the day, it's all about transparency. We just want to make the buying process clear. Look at baseball. We're all about data now. The amount of money that's spent on travel ball, on training, on dietitians, on throwing, we spend all this money, but the way we buy bats hasn't changed in 100 years. We're here to change that.
And you guys also have the different size grips,
correct,
which is cool. I haven't seen that from other manufacturers, so that's awesome. But that's all I had.
Yeah, you have anything else to add about True Diamond Science?
No, we're just great. It's easy to forget we're 4 months old, and we just launched, and the amount of I'm sure you guys have all seen our Facebook ads. It feels like we're everywhere. We definitely feel like we're bigger than we are, but we always say just True Sports in general. So True Sports is our overarching parent company. They're over 100 years old. Golf. Our golf shaft business, what our golf shafts made out of? Aluminum and composite. So we have 100 years of R&D and patents and technologies, hockey sticks, lacrosse shafts that we're able to leverage. So even though we're 4 months old, we're part of a 100-year-old company. We always like to say we're a 100-year-old startup. So on the diamond division, we feel like a startup, but we're at the best factories in the world. We have the best processes in the world. We have a world-class company behind us. So again, it's not us making bats in the back of a shack somewhere. We're making them in the best places, the best materials. So I can tell you here right now, I would put our bat against anybody else's. And then when you throw in the fit, I love that we're winning 80% of the time. So if you're in the market for a bat, at least give us a shot. You always have 60 days to swap it out. We know 1 year warranty, all that stuff. We make it really easy for you to do business with True and love your True bat.
All right, there we go. Enrique Celedon from the 100-year-old startup, True Diamond Science. Enrique, thanks so much.
Thanks so much, guys.
Another thank you to Enrique Celedon from True Diamond Science for hopping on the Monkey Sports podcast. And thank you guys again for tuning in to Monkey Ball and for continuing to support us. Again, wholeheartedly, we thank you for continuing to support our content, and we hope to keep bringing it to you guys as much as possible. As we continue to monitor this situation, we're going to try to keep as much of a routine schedule as we're able from a content standpoint and from a podcast standpoint to at least try to bring you out all the interviews that we had already done, and hopefully in the near future be able to get some more and continue the same posting schedule. So as it stands right now, we will be back next week for an episode of Off the Ice, the Hockey Monkey podcast with CCM athlete and Olympic medalist Sarah Nurse. Be sure to turn into that. We should have another few episodes after that. Of course, we will continue to keep you guys as updated as possible on our content and through all of our social channels about how we're operating as a company and how we're going to continue to keep you guys entertained. We hope to be back for another episode of Monkey Ball in about a month, but until then, you guys be good, stay safe, and be healthy.